Hi, everybody. My name is Tracy Seacombe. I'm a Ruby director with Jeunesse. I'm also a physiotherapist and married with 3 children and a Thinking into Results facilitator. So, what I want to talk to you about today is building a business that serves. This is very dear to my heart, and this is the way that I have built businesses all through my life, starting from my very first business, which was supplying jumpers to schools with all of the year 12 names on the back of the jumpers, through to a news agency and then my physiotherapy company for the last 19 years called Safe Work Practice, and now, of course, Jeunesse. So I want to share with you what has worked for me and what I know to be true, and hope that you can actually gain from today's training session. So my intention right now is to serve you by providing you with content that you can put to use straight away and make a difference in your business. I love this quote by Gandhi: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. You know, you may have been in this situation where something's gone wrong, you're feeling angry, you're upset, perhaps you're feeling a little bit sorry for yourself, and you're very self-focused on what it is that's not going right for you. And then perhaps your child comes to you and needs help with his homework, or you have someone very dear to you that has a bigger problem than you, and you turn your attention to them and you start to help them. And immediately what happens is you start to feel better. First of all, you're distracted from worrying about whatever it was, but that positive energy or that love or that support and help that you're giving to somebody else actually returns that wonderful self-satisfaction back to you. So we really are rewarded the most when we actually give to others through the positive feeling that we get back. But that translates to a much bigger area, which includes success, business, and wealth. So why do we create a business that's based on service? Well, let's have a look at what business really is. So this is the definition that you can find when you search: an organisation or an economic system where goods and services are exchanged for one another or for money. So many years ago, before we had dollars and cents, we actually exchanged or traded our services. So there may have been a guy who was really good at making a spear, but he wasn't so good at catching his own animals so that he could feed his family. So he had the idea that he'd go to the guy that can actually catch the animals and say, look, you know, my family's pretty hungry because I'm not so good at catching the animals. And he would exchange his spear for an animal to feed his family. So that's loosely the way business started, where people exchanged what they were good at. And really, it's not much different anymore, but now we can obviously use money, and then we use that money to create the lifestyle that we want. So in this exchange, we need at least 2 people. We need the seller and we need the buyer. Now, it's all well and good for us to have a product or a service that we enjoy, that we like doing, and we like to have, but we can actually only exchange our product if the buyer wants that service or product. So when you think about it, our role is really to serve people exactly what they want. And you know, there's lots of different ways that this is talked about. You know, we talk about our avatar. Who is our market? Who is our target audience? What people are out there who wants what we have to give them? There are lots of different ways that you can think about marketing and your market and your audience. But it really comes down to the fact that if you're going to be able to help somebody, you need to actually know what that person wants so that you can then serve them. So what do people want? Well, there's a very, very long list, and these are just some of the things that I've put onto this list here. So happiness. Generally, people want to be happy, and what brings people happiness varies from person to person. The more personal development you do, you'll realize that happiness actually comes from within, and it's not really related to external things. We create that happiness. Love. People want to love others and want to be loved by others, to have the things they love. You know, we're so lucky to be able to have, you know, a beautiful, safe house, a roof over our head, running water, things like that, people want to be able to have things that they personally love. Be with the people they love. You know, many people are successful in business. They have things that they love, but they're so busy out there trading time for money that they don't necessarily have the time to spend that time with the people that they love. Do the things that they love to do. You know, sometimes you can look at the normal 9 to 5 where people are stuck in a job where they commute for an hour to work, they're there all day, and then they commute an hour home again. They're spending the majority of their time at a place that they don't necessarily want to be and really limiting the time that they have to do the things that they love. This is one of the key reasons that people get into business. Either they want to have a business around what they love, or they want to create residual income so that they can free up time to do the things that they love. Maybe that you love to paint, maybe you love to play a musical instrument, you know, go skiing, go skydiving, whatever it may be. Many people want the time to be able to do the things that they love and the resources to allow that. Travel, for example, is another one. Make a difference in the world. This is something that's very dear to my heart. I feel the most satisfaction when I help someone, whether it's in a very small way or whether it's in a large life-changing way for them. And I have become addicted to that feeling. So what's very important to me is to be able to do something where I can make a difference in the world. A lot of people want health. It makes sense to want health. We can't enjoy this incredible life that we have unless we have full vitality and health. So there are many people out there looking for health. Feeling good about themselves. You know, self-esteem is really important. Confidence is really important. And the better that you feel about yourself, then the more confidence you have to go out and do the things that you want to do and to achieve in the business that you have. So often this can be related to the way that you look. And so without, you know, putting it down as vanity, people who look better feel better about themselves. So it's not about looking perfect or looking like someone else. It's just being the best version of yourself that you can be. And this is why, you know, I have a very passionate hairdresser who is so good at what she does. And it's because she just loves making people feel good about themselves. And I'm one of them. I always feel great when I leave the hairdressers. People do want to look good. Some people are just looking at being able to achieve something. You know, this can be high on people's lists of values when you ask them what's important to them. That sense of achievement. You know, what have I achieved today? What have I achieved this year? There are many people who are really looking for a way to meet their full potential. You know, sometimes people get very comfortable in a job or a career or even their own business where it's become second nature for them and they no longer feel like they're challenged and they're really achieving something that's important to them and stimulating their brain. And others want to be able to leave a legacy. It's not so much about their own personal time on this earth, but they really want to be able to leave their stamp, their footprint, and when they're gone, others will benefit from many years to come. So this is just a very small list of examples, but when you start to think about this, which is really important that you do, you will realize that there are so many things out there that people want, and you can start to think, how can I help those people get what they want? So what do you want? Now, if you are in business, there's a very good chance that you know why you started that business. If you've forgotten, I implore you to go back after you've watched this and really write that down. Why did you start your business? What did you hope to achieve from that business? Because setting those goals at the beginning are really going to set your business up to take you to realizing those goals. So make sure you're very clear on what you want and also revisit this on a regular basis because it can change. As you grow and develop both personally and professionally, you will learn and have experiences and what you want may change. Your perspective may change. Things that you thought were important to you may not be as important as you first thought once they start to show up in your life. So don't ever overlook answering this question very truthfully and make sure that it's what you want and that it's not what somebody else wants for you. This is a very famous quote and I'm sure you're very familiar with it. You can have everything in life that you want if you will just help enough other people to get what they want. This is so simple, but it really sums up business for me. No matter what business you're in, if you want to be able to create the lifestyle that's important to you, then help other people do the same and really find out what it is that they want. So what is money and what is income? Well, as we said before, it's a medium of exchange. So to begin with, business was about trading a service or a product, and now we have money, which is our medium of exchange. But I love the way Bob Proctor talks about income, and he says that it's proportional to the amount of service you provide. So another way of looking at this is the number of people that you help to get what they want or the degree to which you help them. So this is really important for you to think about. How much am I serving every day? Who am I helping and how am I helping them? We can help people in very, very simple ways. When somebody reaches out to us with a question, we can come back thoughtfully and help them in the best way possible that is going to serve them and what they want. So if you think about creating the life of your dreams, what is that worth to someone? If you have the service or the business of personal development, coaching, mentoring, a platform, for example, where people can create residual income, and that leads to them to creating that life that they've always dreamed of, what is that worth? How much would you pay a coach who could absolutely guarantee they could show you how to create the life of your dreams? So the dreams that you have, not what they have, but exactly what you want to achieve. So this is the platform available to us and available to the people that we connect with. If you really believe this and really feel very genuine and authentic about this, then you are going to want to connect with as many people as you can so that you can share this opportunity with them. So if we think about what we're trying to do and how many people we're trying to serve, then what is the first step to building a business of service? Find out what your potential customers want. Don't assume you know what they want. You know, it's very easy for us to sometimes look at people and think we know what they want. And in fact, if we go a little bit deeper, sometimes we want it for them. And you mustn't come from that place because it's not our position to actually want something for someone else. It's great to want the best for someone, but whatever that best is needs to be defined by that individual and not defined by you. Some of you may have grown up with parents who really wanted the best for you. If you are a parent, I'm sure you want the best for your children. I absolutely want the best for my children. But I also know that what is the best for my children is that they are happy and that they find their way and they make their own choices and they discover what it is that makes their heart sing. That's what I want for my children. So it's not up to me to guide them into what career they do, the friends that they choose, the partner that they have, where they live. Those things are their own choices, but I absolutely want them to be happy and will give them all the support I can. So in business, you must have relationships. There's going to be an exchange between people. Whether you're doing this face to face or whether you're doing it online, people still connect with people. And they are not just joining a product or a company or a service, they are connecting with you and the way that you present yourself. Now, if you're in a social setting and you go along to a party and you're introduced to somebody for the first time, hopefully you're not going to start talking about yourself. Hopefully you have social skills where you understand that it's just natural to open up the conversation by inviting the other person to talk about themselves. This is a very, very basic skill in socializing and connecting with people. If you haven't developed this skill, you probably don't have a lot of friends. So this is very, very obvious when we're in a social setting. But to me, it's very, very obvious in business as well. You know, I think about my physiotherapy company, and whenever I met with a new client, I would spend most of my meeting finding out exactly what their needs are. What are the issues that they're having? What are they problems that need solving in relation to the services that I can provide, so that I can tailor a service plan that is actually going to solve their problems for them or teach them how to do it themselves. So this is the same for all service models, but it's also the same for products, because if you are pushing a product on somebody who is not interested in the benefits of that product, they are not actually a potential customer for you. So you really need to connect with people by listening to them. Now, if you're online, then you're going to have a way of finding out what people are looking for and finding out where those people are who are looking for the thing that you have. So it's really important for you to either be conducting surveys, asking questions, or somehow your marketing or your adverts are creating curiosity around things that your customers or potential clients are interested in. So really finding out what people want. Can you help them? If they've alluded to something, some sort of issue that you know you can help them with, then it's time for you to share your story. People are really connected to stories. This is why people love reading books. This is why children's stories are so important when people are developing at that age, is because we can learn something much more easily if it's taught to us in a story format. I did a course one year when I was pregnant with my second child around writing a novel, and I found it so fascinating because there's a very simple model to a storyline that people enjoy. There needs to be a person who is somehow outcast and has an issue or a problem, and there needs to be a solution that evolves throughout the storyline so that you can get to that satisfaction at the end of the story. It may not necessarily be the obvious happy ending, but it's absolutely going to teach you something about your own life, some sort of moral that you can grab and learn and really experience it through somebody else's story and then apply it to your own life. So this is why it's so important for you to be very honest, I guess, and almost vulnerable about your own story. Why have you come to where you are right now in your life? This is something that other people can relate to, and then they're going to be open to learning more. People are much more attracted to your why than the what, which might be the ingredients of the product or the statistics about the company or how good you are. You know, people are much more interested when you're very open and honest. Now, obviously, when you're connecting with people, it's going to vary what kind of techniques you use depending on who they are. So let's start with our very, very hot market. So these are people who are extremely close to you. They know you very well and you know them very well. So the way that you speak to them and the way that you approach them about your business is going to be very, very different to even your warm market. So this would be the people who would come and see you in hospital if you're very unwell. They would visit you if you had a baby. They would be the person that if you just needed to burst into tears, that's who you would call. Those people who are very, very close. The last thing you want to do to these people is present them with some sort of script. Sort of say something to them that makes them feel like you're trying to sell to them. You love these people and they love you. So what I would do and what I have done with these people is I've been absolutely honest. Now, sometimes we're not completely honest with people who we're close to because we still have that little bit of fear of rejection, even though we know that they love us. We kind of want to live up to their expectations of us or be the person that perhaps we think they think we are. But in absolute truth, you will strengthen the relationship with someone you are close to if you're very vulnerable and very honest. I would say wear your heart on your sleeve. Share the absolute truth about why you're doing this business, what you hope to achieve with this business, and the way that you hope to help and serve others. Really share this with the people that you're very, very close to. Ask for their support. So this is not a question of buy my product, join my business, do this with me, because what they will do is up to them based on their own visions, hopes and dreams. But if you're very, very honest with them and you say to them, I would really love your support, then you will get their support. And they may want to support you by trying your product, by giving you referrals. But the sooner you do this in your business, the better. This is a really effective, honest way to approach your very hot market. Your warm market. Now, this is what I found people are most afraid of. People are most afraid of their warm market because they are afraid of what other people will think of them. And this is always funny because everybody at some stage in their life will go through this, whether it's at school age or university age or well into your 50s, 60s and 70s. But we really experience it at varying degrees. And it's very easy to relate to it at school age because there is so much pressure to be liked and there can be bullying around not being liked. And so there's a lot of pressure on us, particularly at teenagers, to think about what people think of us. But the reality is that people are not thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. So the opinion of others is just such a waste of our energy and our emotions. What you want to do is be able to look yourself in the mirror and be proud of who you are. You may have made mistakes in the past, we all have. But if you make a decision to become the best version of yourself that you can, then be proud of what you have decided to do and make your decisions based on what you want, not on what other people think of you. Having said all of that, this is the confidence that you need to create so that you're going to be comfortable reaching out to your warm market. But if you think back to what I've been saying and the fact that you genuinely want to be able to help people with their problems, then again, you're going to relax about reaching out to your warm market because you're not reaching out to sell them something. You're not reaching out to push your ideas on them or force them into doing something they don't want to do. Instead, what you're doing is catching up with them. What have you been up to lately? Did you go to the game? Whatever it is that you have in connection with them. They're warm, you know them, so you know something about them and they know something about you. So catch up on that, catch up on what's going on, find out what they've been up to. But you want to try to take it deeper than that if you can. You may be face to face, you may be over the phone. But when they say to you what they're doing, for example, they may have a business or they may have a job or they may be working on a project at home, building a new house, settling kids into a new school, take it to a little bit further level and really ask more questions so that you can get to the bottom of what's important to them right now in their lives. Now, this is important because it's not just about finding the right people, it's about finding the right people at the right time in their lives. So it might be the right time for you. You might be really ready for this person to buy your product or join your team, but it may not be for them. And that's what's important is the right person who has the right want, but also the right time for them. So you really want to just go deep into questions that are going to allow them to share what's important to them. And when you're listening to them, genuinely and authentically relate to what they're saying. You know, this is only going to come from really listening and not thinking, when am I going to be able to talk about my business? You know, sometimes we're purely asking the questions so that we can get the answer we want so that we can jump in and say what we want to say. If you actually just relax about that and let it flow and understand that you'll get to that if you're meant to, it'll all happen authentically and organically, you will truly listen. So that's a real skill to develop. Sometimes we're listening just so that we can have a turn to talk. So really open up, listen to what people are saying and find out what's important to them. When you connect with what they're saying and you can relate to what they're saying, make sure that it's genuine. People know whether you're telling the truth or not. People can feel it. So honestly relate to what you can relate to. They may share something with you that you can't personally relate to, but you may be able to link them into somebody else you know who has a similar story and then you can relate that way. The next step is just to share your story in a way that relates to what they want. So again, this is really important because this is very natural. If you went to a great movie and you absolutely loved it, you may see your friend the next day and they'll say, what have you been up to? And you say, I went to this movie last night. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And they'll say, what was it about? Oh, it had so-and-so in it and it was a real, adventure, but I won't give it away because I really think you should go and see it. Now, you are not going to care less whether they go to see that movie or not. You are not going to be desperate for them to see it. You're not going to keep begging them to go and see it. You're just going to share your excitement about it and leave it with them. And they will either go and see the movie or they won't. So just keep that analogy in mind, because when you come from this place, it's just a relaxed sharing of your story and people will feel very relaxed. And that is what's really important. When people are buying a service or a product, they're buying it based on the way that they feel. So that's how we make buying decisions, is through emotion. So if you feel good and you feel really confident and you're telling the truth and you really have had this great experience, then people are going to be drawn to that. Cold market. Now, when you have worked all the way through your warm market, which should take a very, very long time because we know a lot of people, you're going to always ask people for referrals. So whether they join, whether they buy products or not, you're always going to ask people for referrals. So when you're connecting with someone who's been referred to you, you actually have a great way to start the conversation. It's very comfortable from day one because in a way you already know each other because you know the same person. So when I was in South Africa early this year, I had a list of people to call who were all referrals from other people. And so I would just call them up and I'd say, hi, my name's Tracy Seacombe. I know that you were expecting my call. So-and-so asked me to reach out to you. Oh, hi, Tracy. Yes, I knew you were going to call, and it just flows. I get to know them. I ask questions. I make that connection through what I already know about them, the person that we both know, and then we can share their whats and whys and what they're looking for, and I can share mine. So it's really important to develop that relationship, which develops trust. So this is actually turning that cold market referral into my warm market very quickly by my confidence and my warmth and the way that I'm reaching out to somebody. Cold market. Some people want to jump straight into their cold market when they start a business and they haven't developed any trust. There is no reason for this person, this potential customer, to think, yes, I trust that person. I know that what they're saying must be true and it's safe for me to buy from them or to join their business. So it's very, very important to develop a relationship with people who you are reaching out to. One of the best ways to do this is to have something in common in the first place. So reach out to them because you have something in common. So for example, they may also be a mother and you're a mother, or they may be a father and you're a father, or they might be into cycling and so are you, or they go to the same gym as you and you have that in common. They love something that you love. Whatever it may be, find that common interest. Reach out to them in the first place because you have that common interest and start the conversation around the thing that you have in common. If they live in the same area as you, if they're doing the same course as you, if you met them at a networking event, it can all be questions based on them. So these are things where you genuinely want to find out more about them, leading to you understanding what's important to them, what is it that they want. Do they have a problem that needs solving, and is there a way that you can help them solve that problem? So there are lots of different outcomes. There are so many different things that can happen through the conversation. And the other thing is that often it's a process. There are lots of different types of people out there. Some people get a really good feeling, it's perfect timing for them, and they're in. On the first conversation, they're in. They want to try the products. They want to join the business. But other people, it's going to happen as a process. They're going to get to know you, get to like you, think that you're interesting, and you'll keep in touch and the relationship will grow. They may be open. They may be open because as you listen to them, they shared with you that they've got pimples, that their skin is aged and it just doesn't look as good as it used to. They don't have energy. They can't sleep. They have no time. They want to spend more time with their children. They want to go on more holidays. They hate their job. All of these things might come up And that gives you a beautiful lead in to say that you genuinely understand how they feel and you felt the same way too. And that is why, and that leads to your story, and you share your truth, relating it to the problem that they've shared with you. There is also going to be people where it's just not the right time for them. They may be totally focused on what they've done. For example, they have opened up a shop 2 weeks ago. They've made a really big investment. They're paying the rent, they've got the stock, they've taken out a loan. All of their energy is focused on opening up this business. You've got to respect and have empathy for them that they don't have a minute to weaken that focus, which would then make that business go downhill. So you're not actually providing a service for them to take their eye off the ball and focus on something else. This is not the right timing for them. They're at a startup process. Now, 12 months later, they may have that business running smoothly. They've got staff in there now. They're making a profit and they've got what they want, which is to step out a little bit. Now they're open to other streams of income, etc. Somebody who is already got their dream life. You know, it can be disrespectful when someone is clearly a leader where they are. They're telling you they love where they are, they love the life that they have, to then turn around and say, you know, well, surely you want this too. So again, it's about that listening. The other group of people can be that things are so bad for them that they just could not put their energy into anything else. You really need to respect that as well. So this is going to come from that genuine listening. So based on what you're hearing, what is best for them? Always listen and always come from a real service place where you're thinking, how can I really help them? So you must really come from that place where it's not about you, it's about them. So again, relating to them and giving them some options that may be a solution to their problem. Think about what you would want to hear if the roles were reversed. So put yourself in the other person's shoes. This is real empathy and real emotional intelligence, treating others the way that you want to be treated. So if you were in a position, for example, I'll use an example that I had about 5 years ago. I went into a car yard and the guy that came up to talk to me obviously needed to sell a car. It was obviously really important for him. You know, maybe he had to pay the rent. I had complete empathy for him and understood that he was in a desperate place. But I didn't like the car that I was looking at. It's not the car that I wanted. And he just pushed and pushed and pushed to try and sell me this car that I did not want. I didn't like it. so I couldn't get away from him quick enough, even though I felt for him. But he was coming from a place where he was really trying to get what he wanted rather than thinking of a way that could serve me. You know, there may have been a different car there that he could have shown me, but he was really hell-bent on selling me that particular car. So make sure that you are providing great service. If you have something they are telling you that they want, but graciously accept it if you don't. You may not have the solution that they're looking for. You get what you give. Now, people hear this all the time. It's used very, very loosely, but it's so, so true if you understand it at a very deep level and you're applying it to your life and your business all the time. So a lot of people think this means money, you know, and they can be defensive and say, yeah, well, I'd give something away if I actually had anything to give. This is really not the case. So money is one way that you can give. But the most important thing that you can give is positive energy. So this means that you can't be fake. You can't follow all of the practical steps that I've shown you as if you're reading it from a book and you don't really mean it. So it's very, very important for you to be genuine, to be authentic, and really want to help someone. So when you listen to someone and you really are listening to understand what they want, you're going to mean what you say whether you benefit from it or not. So this is unconditional giving. And this is a big lesson for all of us. The get doesn't have to come from who you gave it to. So I'll give you an example. You may have worked with somebody in your business and done some mentoring with them and given everything to them, been totally selfless and just given all the advice you can, all the tools that you know how. And at some point, they've given up and they haven't used all the tools that you've given them, and their life is still a mess, and they haven't applied what you've given to them, and you feel like you haven't got anything back from them personally. So you need to let go of that exchange where it's all about being reciprocal. I'll only give you this if you give me that. So many of us do that. We give because we want them to say thank you. We give and make sure we know that everybody knows that we've been giving. True unconditional giving is about giving without expecting anything in return. But what you'll find when you have this attitude and you just continue to give, even if you know that the person probably isn't going to take on board what you're sharing, you just give, and it all comes back to you multiplied. But it doesn't come from exactly where you gave it. It comes from everywhere. So have that attitude when you set about your business. So the big secret is this, and that is being totally unattached to the outcome. Now you might have this look on your face right now. You might be thinking, what? But I've set my goals and I'm actually going to achieve all these things and I'm going to live the life of my dreams. How could I be unattached to the outcome? Well, you are not unattached to the final outcome. So what you're really going to create is a vision that you have, the why you started this business. So let's say, for example, the reason you started this business is because you want to spend time with your family, go on beautiful holidays, live in your dream home, and make a difference in the world. You can visualize that, you can see it, you know what it looks like, you know what it feels like. That is the one thing that you are not letting go of. You have absolute belief in that. But you do not have control of who are going to be your customers and your clients. That is not what you're in control of, and that's the part that you need to let go of. Everybody has their own vision just like you do. You're in control of you and your life and your vision and your actions, not theirs. So you choose the what, which is your vision, and the absolute adventure is in discovering the who. Who will show up in your business? Who will be your customers? Who will be that superstar that joins you and takes your business to the whole next level? Where that financial freedom will come with. All of those things are exciting. Otherwise, it'd be like we've read the last page of the book. So open your mind up to embracing that. Isn't it exciting that we don't know how and we don't know who? But what we do know is where we're going, what we're working towards, and what's important to us. So every day, what I want you to think about is, instead of waking up and thinking, who can I recruit today? Who is going to buy my products? Who is going to join my business? Ask yourself this: who can I help today? Send me those people who I know I can help. I can make a difference for others. I'm here to help them and I can't wait to meet them. Who can I help today? You don't know the answer. So the way that you're going to find those people who need or want what you have is to reach out to lots and lots of people. Make it fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy connecting with people, listening to them, feeling them, and understanding what's important to them. Develop the relationships with those people. You may or may not be able to help them right now, right here, but there may be a way in the future that they can help you. You can help them. So just keep in touch with these people, connect with new people every day, but come from a place of wanting to serve them and wanting to genuinely help them. And I look forward to all of you building very successful businesses that help many, many other people.